The more you talk about them, the more important they will feel. The more you listen to them, the more important you will make them feel. I think it was the institution. I was trying to master it. You lose nothing when fighting for a cause. In my mind, the losers are those who don't have a cause they care about. For a word to be spoken, there must be silence, before and after. Don't always wish to be like others. Always aspire to be better than them. People often claim to hunger for truth, but seldom like the taste when it's served up. To find what you seek in the road of life, the best proverb of all is that which says, "Leave no stone unturned." One way of looking at speech is to say that it is a constant stratagem to cover nakedness. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. The man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people and all time. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. The desire to die was my one and only concern. To it I have sacrificed everything, even death. Stay calm in times of trouble and all the turbulence around you will obey you. Someone needs to fight. Someone needs to sacrifice. Someone needs to inspire. Someone needs to be a hero. The truth knocks on the door and you say, "Go away, I'm looking for the truth," and so it goes away, puzzling. The most important reason for going from one place to another is to see what's in between, and they took great pleasure in doing just that. The essence of life does not consist in the lushness of your possessions, but in the richness of your heart. When the going gets weird, the weird turn professional. All paths are present, always, and we can but choose among them. Don't panic. It's normal to get lost every once in a while. Caught up in a whirlwind, sometimes winds too get lost. Spirituality is a normalized state of persistent personal growth achieved in harmony with others. Talent is helpful in writing, but guts are absolutely essential. Never stop. Never stop fighting. Never stop dreaming. You might have had to deal with many disappointments in life, but don't doubt the possibility of success. If you try and lose, then it isn't your fault. But if you don't try and we lose, then it's all your fault. Consuming all your income leads to financial insecurity, but earning to invest paves the way to financial freedom. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Forgive yourself before you die, then forgive others. Differences are not intended to separate, to alienate. We are different precisely in order to realize our need of one another. Wisdom is knowing I am nothing. Love is knowing I am everything. In between the two my life moves. Saya adalah produk gagal yang sedang dalam proses pinduran along. Smiley face. Nothing is permanent in this wicked world, not even our troubles. This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that. Because sometimes people who seem good end up being not as good as you might have hoped. The job of feats is walking, but their hobby is dancing. Don't part with your illusions. When they are gone, you may still exist, but you have ceased to live. But someone who has no peace within can't give another being peace. All they can do is give false hopes that they themselves don't believe. Trust the story. The storyteller may dissemble and deceive. The story can't. The story can only ever be itself. Birthdays could be such a bummer when you were older than the country you lived in. It's not whether your glass is empty or full, it's what you do with it that really matters. Every immigrant who comes here should be required within 5 years to learn English or leave the country. Believe in your greatness, because what you believe is what you become. Don't think about the possibilities of failing. Never forget to think about the possibilities of flying. Somebody once said if it's something a single book can explain, it's not worth having explained. Sometimes a little discomfort in the beginning can save a whole lot of pain down the road. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. The past is a place of learning, not a place of living. A rainbow is not afraid of showing its true colors because it knows it is beautiful inside out. In order to move on, you must understand why you felt what you did and why you no longer need to feel it. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. Our battered suitcases were piled on the sidewalk again. We had longer ways to go. But no matter, the road is life. The truth about life and lie about life is not measured by others, but by your intuition, which never lies. You do not write your life with words. You write it with actions. What you think is not important. It is only important what you do. Each affects the other, and the other affects the next, and the world is full of stories, but the stories are all one. I would not have you descend into your own dream. I would have you be a conscious citizen of this terrible and beautiful world. I am a strong believer in the tyranny, the dictatorship, the absolute authority of the writer. Never worry a bit in life. Always be full of merriment. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. If you can spend a perfectly useless afternoon in a perfectly useless manner, you have learned how to live. It does not matter how long you live, but how well you do it. Life is dear to every living thing. The worm that crawls upon the ground will struggle for it. I am certain of nothing but the holiness of the heart's affections and the truth of the imagination. Do you not then hear this horrible scream all around you that people usually call silence? Wake up with determination. Go to bed with satisfaction. If life gives you any trouble, punch it in the face. When ill luck begins, it does not come in sprinkles, but in showers. That's the problem with life. You never get enough time to stare at your ceiling and try to figure out what's going on. Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. It's a big world, but we are small. Every little thing matters a lot. A desire not to butt into other people's business is at least 80% of all human wisdom. Believe there is a great power silently working all things for good. Behave yourself and never mind the rest. Nothing can disturb your peace of mind unless you allow it to. I am always doing that which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it. Patience and improvement is the key to opening the door to progress. Problems in science are sometimes made easier by adding complications. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. What a bright sunny day, and I don't know what to say. Never get bitter. Life is a medley of good and bad ingredients. Don't be scared to live your life without judgment. And there are really never endings, happy or otherwise. Success is knowing your purpose in life, growing to reach your maximum potential, and sowing seeds that benefit others. Light must come from inside. You cannot ask the darkness to leave you. You must turn on the light. It may be unfair, but what happens in a few days, sometimes even a single day, can change the course of a whole lifetime. Women may fall when there's no strength in men. Act 2. I am struck by how sharing our weakness and difficulties is more nourishing to others than sharing our qualities and successes. You have to be transparent so you no longer cast a shadow, but instead let the light pass through you. I read somewhere how important it is in life not necessarily to be strong, but to feel strong, to measure yourself at least once. Expressing doubt is how we begin a journey to discover essential truths. If you're jealous of someone else, it simply means you have not come to a true acceptance and appreciation of yourself. Keep working hard, and you can get anything that you want. The reason I talk to myself is because I'm the only one whose answers I accept. A picture held us captive, and we could not get outside it, for it lay in our language, and language seemed to repeat it to us inexorably. Any war that requires the suspension of reason as a necessity for support is a bad war. Satan profits from the prayerlessness of the saints. Any problems that may occur have ultimately been caused by you, because you are responsible for where you are and what you are doing there. After everything has been said and done, all you have is your story. Make sure it's worth telling. I was halfway across America, at the dividing line between the east of my youth and the west of my future. Now I know what success is: living your truth, sharing it. No human should mislead another by promising them something they know to be untrue. It is culture that is the bully, or an ALDO central to Theo Waitley, saltation.